All right, we are ready to start off hour number 2 of the program. And it's Thursday, so on Thursdays we do the Hialeah Park Casino sports investment segment. We like to go around the country, talk to different handicappers, get their opinions on different things going on in the world of sports. And today, Jeff Sheesby is going to join us. OldManWhoBets.com is the website. You can follow him on Twitter at OldManWhoBets, and he also writes for 1:37 p.m. Let's bring him aboard. Jeff, good afternoon, my man. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, man. Merry Christmas. What's going on?
Merry Christmas, my brother. Now, I'm trying to figure this out, brother, okay? You got to help me here, okay? Because I know the wise guys know way more than we ever will. I know they build these big, beautiful castles in Vegas because I visit them, and the bastards make it so big that I need a car just to get the hell out of the damn place. So I get all of that, all right? Now, how in the hell are the Hurricanes favored by 7 against La Tech? And this is coming from a South Florida radio show, a guy that's been here for 53 years, born and raised. I love the Canes. I don't believe they could give anybody 7 points. What do they know that we don't know, Jeff? Please, help me.
Yeah, that is such a tough one with Miami here. I think it's one of those spots where Miami is trying to get back on the map, really establish themselves as that elite program that all the fanfare that we loved in the 90s. I think they've been super inconsistent all year. La Tech, they're looking for their 10th win this season, keeping their bowl streak alive. So I think it will be pretty competitive. This is honestly going to be a no play for me because I think the line is kind of where it should be. I would say it does have a little bit of strength towards Miami. So hoping this young squad, new coach, proven himself, would be able to bring it home and then provide us with at least a ton of entertainment today on a day that's a little light on sports.
Are you? So who you going with here? You're going with the Canes? You're going to lay the 7?
I think I would. I think I'd go with the Canes. Haven't locked it in yet, but as the afternoon progresses here, I think that's, again, where I'd be leaning.
Okay. All right. So Jeff Sheesby is going to go with the Canes, OldManWhoBets.com. All right. Speaking of Old Man Who Bets, is LeBron looking a little old finally?
Yeah. I mean, that growing gave out last night. Fantastic game. Thankfully, was on the Clippers +2 on that one. Gave me a little bit of a scare when they were, up 1 with 3 minutes to go in the half, and then come into the half down 12, nice 15-0 run. But this Lakers team is great. I think the NBA product itself is the best we've had in quite some time in terms of parity. I'm hoping that LeBron's injury obviously isn't too serious. I would love to get it back on the court, and I think this playoff is going to be just outrageous. Hard to go against the Clippers with Kawhi, but even the Celtics was pretty good last night on the East Coast. So let's hope that LeBron's not hurt for too long. Let's hope that he can play in the league until his son's in the league for the first time ever, as I am certainly a pro LeBron guy.
Well, so let me ask you, are you giving the Lakers the nod here or the Clippers? Because the way I look at it, I see two at least better in shape stars. They're healthier, they're younger, and a better supporting cast on the Clippers side. And I'm wondering if it was smart on LeBron's part to go all balls out from the get-go, from the beginning of the season. Maybe he should have been pacing himself like the guys with the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, I think load management is certainly a hot topic right now. Fans hate it because all the marquee matchups then kind of become G League scrimmages. But it definitely makes sense. To play in that many games, obviously the body's going to break down. I think LeBron historically has done pretty good about load management. I think less so this year than, especially like Kawhi, who's out every other game. But I agree with you. I think Clippers is going to be one of the teams to beat in the West. I think it's a great spot because the public loves the Lakers. I mean, how could you not? It's L.A., the flashier team. Kobe, Shaq, all the greats, came through there. You got LeBron, you got AD, you got a stacked lineup there. Everybody loves Rondo. I think almost the dark side is the Clippers, not dissimilar to the scenario that Kawhi was in last year, where he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He knows how good he is. He's just quiet. He just plays the game of basketball. So, similar to last night where they came out, of course, it was a revenge game for the Lakers. The Clippers weren't going to be able to do it twice this season. What do? They come out, they play a gritty game of runs, and smack the Lakers in the face. So I'm definitely with you on that one, looking towards the Clippers to make some serious noise. Would love to see Kawhi go back-to-back.
All right, so let's get into some of the national championship games. Clemson -2, Ohio State 63.5 right now is the over and under. How are you looking at this one?
Definitely leaning towards the over there. I think that line is super high. Both of these teams score religiously. Going to be an incredible game. I think Clemson honestly isn't getting as much respect as they should be. But nonetheless, I definitely would lean towards the over here just because that high line. These teams are going to score early and often.
Are you looking at it right now because Trevor Lawrence is playing really, really well and he kind of closed out the season really strong?
Yeah, I mean, that guy just, he flicks his wrist and it's a touchdown to wherever he needs to go. Combo that with the wonderful haircut and certainly a player that I can support.
It's like every guy on the planet wishes they were Trevor Lawrence, right? Because you know that guy's got women like lined up outside his dorm 24 hours a day, and all he has to do is just wave one in and then just, switch up 10 minutes later if he wants to, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have not been fortunate enough to be able to just quite literally say hello, and the deal is closed, and he doesn't even need to do that. He waves his, nods his head, or just the wind picks up his hair at the right moment, and he's got another quite literally touchdown. So I can't even imagine the kind of life that guy's living.
All right, so you and I like Clemson in this one, but how about the over and under, the 63.5? Are you touching that?
Not touching it currently. Thankfully, we got some time before that game. I would love to see kind of where that line moves. Just off the start at 63.5. I do think that is a pretty high line. Really think the Joe Public's point of view necessarily is to see a high line. Oh, it can't necessarily. We'll never get that high. But I say if it's high, go higher. If it's low, go lower. Just as a general rule of thumb, of course, exceptions to every rule. But right now, if you had a gun to my head and said make a choice, I would go over.
Over. Wow. Okay. I thought you were going to go under, Jeff, because I kind of like the under right now with those defenses. But all right, over on that one. Jeff Sheesby, by the way, you could follow him on Twitter at oldmanwhobets and go to the website oldmanwhobets.com. Moving over to Oklahoma and LSU. Dude, this number is fat right now. LSU is up by 13.5. We know Oklahoma doesn't play defense, so what do you think about this? And I think Oklahoma's having issues. Isn't it their defensive end, right? I think their best pass rushers
suspended,
also.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be a real problem, and Joe Burrow's going to love that.
Yeah, I think LSU probably feasts in this one. You said it, Oklahoma plays no defense. LSU has just looked quite literally unstoppable. With injuries and no defense, I think that's tough to, match up in a national championship game. Obviously fine all season to be beating teams down. It's college football after all. But, when push comes to shove in these final 3 games here, you need to be a complete package. I don't see, Oklahoma putting up that many points, if you will. I think ultimately the 13.5, obviously huge, strong line there. Probably too big for me to touch, especially in a game of this magnitude. But, I think I would definitely lean LSU. What were you thinking?
Okay. And so the over and under for you is too much right now, right, is what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure. Probably lean over in that as well. But I need to go a little bit deeper on just historical bowl trends, especially looking at a juggernaut versus only an offensive juggernaut and seeing kind of where that has landed. But should be an interesting one and hopefully a fantastic game.
So give me, Jeff, is there a bowl game that you're looking forward to right now that you think, hey, the wise guys didn't get this one right? I love this.
Yeah, great question. Not specifically on the wise guy side of things. At this point, I'm looking forward to literally every bowl game. It's kind of that interesting period where, post-Christmas, pre-holiday works a little bit slower than usual. 4 o'clock games are easily accessible. So, love this Miami game coming into it. I also like, just going kind of day by day here. We got Pitt and EMU tonight. I think it's a good spot for Pitt as well. Probably the under there. And then certainly as this week goes on, let's communicate on Twitter and, figure out where we're landing.
Well, for Pitt, are you laying the 11.5, 12.5? Because it all depends on what you get it. Because I've seen it at 11.5 and 12.5 today against Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, I think the 11.5 and 12.5 is fine. Obviously it's over 10, one of those key numbers, so I don't necessarily think it's going to matter there. There has been pretty solid value taking money line underdogs historically in college football bowl games. If you were to blindly take all of them, I believe you'd be up about 20 units in 2005 for the Action Network, something along those lines. So I think if you're looking for, kind of a nice contrarian play, is taking these big underdogs and hammering them, money line. And I think it's interesting because most of these teams have no common opponents. A lot of times hard to gauge kind of motivation. I think Miami is one of the biggest X factors there. When they come in playing kind of a no-name school, will they show up? Do they care about this game? Is the turnover chain ready? So it should be interesting. I think a great game, a great slate of football today.
Let me ask you something, Jeff. We'll wrap it up with this. I actually like the over in the Pitt Eastern Michigan game. How about you? Because it's 49, I think.
Yeah, 49. I thought that was a little low, especially for these bowl games. You see these touching 65 plus. So I was leaning towards the under. More just a line read than anything else. Haven't gone as deep as I would like on offensive and defensive efficiency numbers just yet. What are you looking at on the over?
No, it's 49. That's why I think the Eastern Michigan isn't really going to stop Pitt in this one. I think Pitt's going to score a lot of points in this one. And Eastern Michigan will score a few, but I think they'll get over 50 combined right now. I really do.
Yeah, especially in these ball games where teams are taking risks. I think it's one of those things where, this line might come down to an ill-advised 4th and 2 on the 40, or something, or 4th and 2 on even the 10. And then all of a sudden you get a nice 90-yard drive the other way, which just totally kills totals. But that is kind of the definition of a coin flip. Obviously, if they get that conversion, then the over is cruising. If they don't, and they just wasted 5-6 minutes off the clock with another team that has terrible field position. So, again, I would lean on the under on this one, just because I think it's low. When it's low, I go lower generally, but not locked in just yet.
Jeff Sheesby, man. Follow him on Twitter at OldManWhoBets. And, of course, go to the website, oldmanwhobets.com. Jeff, thank you for taking some time, my man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks so much for having me.
You got it, baby. There you go. Jeff Sheesby on our Hialeah Park Casino sports investment segment. We will do it every Thursday. Oh, not just during football season, all year long. We're going to be doing our sports investment segment. And, hey, man, this is kind of part of sports talk nowadays. And I got to tell you something. Jeff and I are going to disagree on this one. I like the over. I think Pittsburgh is going to rout the crap out of Eastern Michigan. Pittsburgh's a decent team. I think they're going to put up some serious points. I think they're going to put up 35 just by themselves.
They played good ball this year.
Yeah. So they're 7-5. They're trying to end 8-5. They're favored by 12.5. I like the over more than even laying the points. But I agree with Jeff. I would lay the points. Now, it is interesting because Jeff and I disagree on the game. He's willing to lay the points. I am not willing to lay the points. I have no faith whatsoever in the Hurricanes and in Manny. None.
When the line moves with more points for the Canes, that means there's money coming in on Louisiana Tech.
No, Miami.
Shift.
No, isn't it? If it's gone up?
No, it's to shift. Because if people are betting Miami, they would bring the line
down.
Yes.
And it's gone up. That's what I'm saying. The money's coming in on Miami. It was 6.5. It's 7. That means the money's coming in on Miami.
Yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying.
To give Louisiana more.
Yes.
To counterbalance.
Yes, that's what
the lines are set.
I gotta say, I disagree. I'm not trying to be a hater or nothing. Sometimes people tend to not handle an opinion that's against their favorite team, and they think it's hating, and it's not hating. It's
fact.
I don't trust them, man.
How could you trust them? They've had how many weeks off? We've seen every time they have 2 weeks off,
and they
lay an egg.
And I trust La Tech more at this point, which is crazy to think that, but that's the case.
The other thing about the line, and this is a fact, the line is put out to generate bet interest. It ain't about what they it's about for them to get action.
They got to find a middle ground.
Now, once the line starts and it starts going, then they counter to kind of balance the betting, because they just, if every place could have their way, what they would do, 50% on this side, 50% on that side, and I got the VIG. I'm getting my 10%.
I think
that's what they want.
There's still too many people out there that are giving the Canes respect that they don't deserve.
Based on this year's performance,
Based
every
on
game, it's
20 years of performance.
Well, no. I'm talking about based on this
No, but
season's
I'm just
performance.
saying.
There's absolutely no excuse and no reason to give them any credit at all.
I'm just saying
At all.
that there's no respect for them the last 15 years. They've been a pathetic program for 15 years. I'm sorry. What? We're going to live off that Notre Dame moment? I mean, give me a break, dude. The sun shines on every dog's ass every once in a while. They've been a joke of a program for 15 years. And this year, it's been a couple times that there's been a big line, and I'm like, who the hell are you to give them any kind of points? And I just feel that way about the Canes. I may be completely wrong, and tomorrow I'll take the mic and I'll have egg on my face. It's really, really crazy.
No, but
the
seriously.
Canes really bounced back and played well and all that good stuff. I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't see
No,
it.
based on what they've done this season, having extra time has not helped them in any way. They've had way more extra time. Plus, like you said, starters walking away to not play.
Yeah.
On top of being in their backyard. From what we've seen from the Florida game all the way through the whole season, yeah, there's absolutely no reason to think that Miami's going to even win this game outright.
Myron says, I don't trust Manny and the whole coaching staff. Plus, I don't think players respect Manny. That's my opinion. Well, they haven't played like they respect Manny. Not even the defense plays like it respects Manny. Okay, the first week that he said, I'm going to get involved, it happened. And then after that, there's been all kinds of lulls and mistakes and breakdowns from his defense. They wouldn't be 6-6 if they really responded to Manny. If they respond to Manny, you don't lose to FIU. If they respond to Manny, you don't lose to Georgia Tech. It's just the way it is. Army Kane says, Big O, what are your thoughts on the Canes today? Do you see a prepared team? Well, we've been talking about that now, Army Kane, that I don't expect a prepared team because that's been the MO of the Canes this year. 3 bye weeks and 3 terrible starts to their games and unprepared. So I am expecting them to be unprepared again. Why would I can't expect them to be prepared. They've never shown that under Manny. See, I'm at a point now with Manny where I'm wrong. I thought he was the right guy. And now he has to prove to me that all of us that we thought you were the right guy, that we're right about it. But right now, there is no way any of us could have any kind of confidence, any kind of belief that Manny's the guy. Now, do I want to give him another chance? Of course, I'm not up for firing Manny or anything like that. I want to see him come back next year, and I want to see what he does. I want to see if he can actually, turn this thing around. He deserves that opportunity, but I'm not going to sit here and BS you and tell you, he's definitely the guy. No, I can't tell you that. No way. No way. There's nothing. I have no examples. I can give you example after example after example of why Brian Flores has shown us that he possibly is the guy. But I can show you example after example that says Manny isn't the guy. That's all. And I'm not saying that Flores has arrived either. I need to see one more year of Flores. Just like I'm saying, while Manny has completely failed this year, he's been terrible. He deserves another year to prove to us that this was an aberration. This is not who he is. I hope that's the case. I really do. But right now, it's hard to even think that. It's impossible to think that right now. The only thing you can think right now is, holy crap, the Canes hired the wrong guy again. And this sucks. That's the only way you can think about this situation here. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can always reach out to us there, and of course on Twitter at Big O Show. Old Man Who Bets, by the way, says, great chatting with Big O. Thanks for having me on. Discuss a few leans. Miami, Pitt EMU under, Clemson OSU over, and LSU to the bank. Great day for a great day, he says. There you go. Nice job by the old man who bets. I like it. Old man who bets. We'll get him on again. Drew Bo says, I better not hear from Manny if they lose about everything is under review. His ass is under review. Remember, it's a rebuild. Now, come on, guys. You know, this is a rebuild. When he did that, come on, guys. It's a rebuild. I swear to you, I thought Fletch. Come on, guys. It's all ball bearings nowadays. That's exactly what I thought when Manny did that on me. I was like, whoa, he's pulling a Fletch on my ass here. Come on, you guys know it's a rebuild. It's all ball bearings. Young folks are like, what the hell is he talking about? What the hell is that reference? Anyway, so we'll find out if Manny and the boys can get it done. We're going to hear from Brian Flores, the head coach of your Miami Dolphins. Let's hear from the head coach. He addressed the media today, and it's Thursday. We're a couple days away from the New England Patriots game, and yesterday was Christmas. Let's find out what the head coach has to say.
Long run, and Dino stuck me in there and said, "Go make a tackle." So it's something that it's a phase of the game that I love. I think it's my time as an assistant under Scott O'Brien was invaluable to me. I think there's those 6 phases, field goal, block, punt, return, kickoff, return. There's plays to be made in all of those phases. We're going up against an opponent who, they do a really good job in the kicking game. They try to apply pressure in all of those phases. And it's definitely a place where, I feel like we can make a lot of improvement. And, if we play well in that phase, I think it's a real advantage.
That where a guy first gains your attention?
Excuse me?
It's the kicking game where a young player can...
Yeah, if you want to impress me, you do it in the kicking game. It's something I've said since day one here to, anyone who sits in those meeting rooms. So, quarterbacks who can hold, running backs who can, cover kicks, receivers who can, block in a return game, defensive players who can, block on punt and then, run down and make a tackle, guys who, from a ball security standpoint, can return, kick off, punt returns. All of it is very valuable. And, I think people take it for granted at times. Until it doesn't work out in a game. So, it's very important to me. I think it's, a phase in the game that, we'll continue to harp on and, try to play it well now. We got a great challenge this week. I would say this is one of the best, kicking game units in the league. They're well coached. They're tough. They're physical. Schematically, they do a lot of different things. They pose some issues. They try to apply pressure really in all phases. So, it'll be a big test.
So at a personal level, what's it going to be like returning to Gillette, a place you know very well? Have you ever been in the visitors' locker room? Are you going to have to mentally say, no, I got to turn left instead of turn right, all that kind of stuff?
I know my way around that place. So, yeah, I'll be all right. I'll figure it out. Look, it's a road game against a road game in a tough environment against a good football team. It'll be a great challenge for us. As far as, the history, my personal history there, it's one of those things that, right now, I'm the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. That's, where my focus is going to be Sunday at 1 o'clock. And, there's a lot of, relationships and, friendships I have there. Again, those go far beyond, football. But, I'll be ready to compete on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
So What does it say about a player like Christian Wilkins that he wants to run on the field and celebrate with teammates after touchdown, or even kicking Jason Sanders when he kicks a field goal?
It just says he's a team guy, which we knew that when we drafted him. He's selfless. He understands the different roles and the different how important each guy's role is. He doesn't have the. He's selfless. He's a team guy, and I think we got a lot of guys like that on this team who really appreciate the hard work everybody in that locker room puts into each week, into each practice, into each meeting, and I think he should celebrate it. And I tell those guys that all the time. I mean, we work hard. When we make a good play, we should celebrate. Nothing crazy, but as long as we don't get a penalty, I'm good. But we should celebrate good plays.
It's a lot that, tough, smart, physical discipline is what you want from your players. Yeah. I was curious that if there's a situation where a player's talented enough but may not have one of those qualities, would you still take on that player, or if they don't have those four, they're out for you?
Talented but not tough?
One of those four. They're not talented but not tough, they're talented but not physical, talented but not smart, or talented but not disciplined. Like if they don't have one of the four, are they out for you, or can you, or there's
case by case?
Yeah.
I think it's really case by case. To me, those are talented football player that's not tough is, that's almost an oxymoron to me. So, it's case by case. So, it's a tough question. I guess I'd have probably a longer answer would be here for, I'm sure we got some, I'm sure you got a couple, for instances for me. But I think it's a longer conversation, but I do think it's case by case. But yeah, I'm looking for those qualities, and every one of my players. Not everyone has everyone. I realize that each player's their own individual person and has different qualities, and they're probably stronger in one area than another. I understand that, and some instances, some guys are tougher, some guys are smarter, some guys are more physical, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, it's case by case. I'm not writing anybody off for being deficient in any one area. I need my guys to be tough, though.
And this is a year probably that you've never experienced this for us as well, but I'm sure there are going to be moments, stories from the season you're going to look back on and kind of smile about. Is there one or two maybe moments from the season, either during a game or in practice, that you'll kind of cherish?
I'll reflect on the season, I guess after the season. Right now we got a major challenge ahead of us. It's a very well-coached, tough, physical team in New England, really in all three, phases, offense, defense, and special teams. That's where most of my, really all of my attention is right now. I could sit and try to think about one, but then my mind goes to the 4 block punts that they've got on the season, or, Edelman on third down, or, the variety of games they run on the front. So, even when I try to go there, something else pops into my mind, which is, has something to do with, a situation where they're doing something that could pose problems to us. So maybe that's a next week question. I'm sorry.
Brian, did Tay Hayes show you something Sunday which intrigued you guys, made you want to see more? And do you feel good about, you've developed young corners, you, Patrick, Josh, do you feel like you have some young guys that can be developed moving further and might turn into something long term?
I think Tay, jumped right in, played a significant amount of snaps last week, and made a few plays. Was competitive on most of the coverage. I thought he tackled well. So it's a good start. I think we need to build on that. Practice meetings, walkthroughs, and hopefully duplicate, that type of performance again. That'll be hard against a good receiving core, and obviously a great quarterback. And not an easy thing, but he's off to a good start. As far as the corner position, I think Patrick, Josh, they do a great job as far as developing young players, and it takes time, but every play, every game is an experience for those guys, and I think those guys do a good job. So.
There you go. That's the head coach of your Miami Dolphins, Brian Flores. A couple things that I thought were pretty interesting in this conversation of the press conference, talking about the kicking game, and how he mentioned how if you want to impress me, you do it in the kicking game. And one of the reasons why he brings that up, let me explain to you. Jimmy Johnson, years ago, what people don't realize is his first few years, Zach Thomas was on special teams. Starting middle linebacker, but was on special teams, I think the first 2 years of his career. As a starting middle linebacker and doing special teams work. Jason Taylor, I believe it was either 2 or 3 of his first years in the NFL. He was your starting defensive end, but he was also starting on special teams. And people used to ask Jimmy all the time, why do you do that? And he used to say, I want my best players on special teams. I take special teams as seriously as I do offense and defense. Because guys like Jimmy, guys like Bill Belichick, they believe they can win the game on that third phase. And why you want players. And one of the reasons why he said, you want to impress me, do it in the kicking game. Do you know why he says that? Let me explain. The coach knows already that you can catch and you can run and you've got vision and that you can tackle and that you're a football player because you show it on offense and you show it on defense all the time, right? But you're really not groomed overall, most guys. There are guys that are specialists, and they've been that their entire careers, the kicker and the punter. And then there's a few of those guys that are like returners or something that they're just specialty guys. It's only a couple of those kind of guys. You draft an Eric Metcalf or something, and he's going to help you as a running back, but he's really there more to be a returner. And the same thing with what's the name of this kid we had here at the University of Miami and Chicago Bears? Your boy.
Devin Hester. That didn't know where to line up most of the time.
Yeah, you couldn't put Devin Hester as a DB. As fast as he was useless as a DB. Think about it. As fast as Devin Hester was, he sucked as a defensive back. Okay? So, but there's very few of those guys because Hester was so special that we know he's a negative in all these other areas, but he helps us out as a returner that we've got to use him. Well, the coach knows that you can tackle and you can run and you can do all the other things that you do. But if you do it on special teams, now he knows you're versatile. Now he knows you're more valuable to the team. Because he sees you as a guard and you're opening up holes and all that. Okay, but can you get out there on special teams and make the right blocks to spring the guy? I know you're a defensive back. I get it. But how are you as a flyer? Do you have the knack to get downfield and find the football? These are all things, and that's why the focus of the special teams is so important for certain guys. And where did Flores grow up with? He grew up with Bill Belichick. And Bill Belichick believes strongly on special teams. And I saw that burning desire from Jimmy. Jimmy coached up special teams, man, like he coached up offense and defense. It wasn't like, that's not that important. No. It was so important that he would have his best players on it. He wasn't going to cheat himself or his team and say, well, this linebacker is pretty good on special teams. Zach is great, but I'm going to play the guy that's pretty good because I want to preserve Zach. Oh, dude, he wanted to win on special teams. So I'm playing Zach, and I'm playing Jason Taylor, and I'm playing anybody and everybody that can play special teams. And when we start talking about draft this year, some of the things that we're going to look at on players is going to be versatility. When I'm talking to scouts and when I'm talking to players and all that stuff, I'm going to try to find out about their versatility. Because if we find out players don't have versatility, how do you think they fall on the priority scale of the Miami Dolphins when it comes to the draft? That's right, pretty low. If both guys are terrific receivers, but then this guy's a little better flyer, guess who's going to become a little bit better priority for the Miami Dolphins? Because you can only activate 45 out of 53, correct? You have to have the most versatile 45 that you can. And if you have guys that are strictly specialists, that takes away from your roster. Because there's a guy that's standing on the sidelines that cannot help you as a football player because he's a specialist. And then vice versa. If there's a guy that's just a football player and can't help you out on special teams, well, then that guy better be super special. Because if not, he's going to fall down on the priority list. They kind of tell you what they want in players. And you see it in guys. And you're watching it now with the Dolphins. And that's why these questions are being asked. But at the same time, I wanted to kind of shed light on what the coach is saying when he talks about, you want to impress me, do it in the kicking game. And that's what he means. Because if you impress me in the kicking game, you're already here because you impressed me as a football player on offense or defense. Now you're showing me you can play a second phase to the game. And he's going to like, that's going to get a dude like Flores sexually aroused. Okay? That's how twisted those guys are. All right? Flores also talks about knowing that Bill, Bill takes the special team side serious and the challenge. And then you see also his priority when he tells you want to impress me, do it in the kicking game. That's why even Flores kind of gets excited about this matchup because he gets to match wits against his mentor. He knows how much his mentor takes special teams seriously. And in turn, he does the same thing because he wants some of the same things out of his football team. I find that to be really interesting and a really cool part of that conversation and the press conference. And then I think it was Cameron Wolfe, I believe it was Cameron Wolfe that was asking this question about talented and smart, tough and physical, the traits that they look for. But then he was looking for, well, what if a guy is talented but not tough? And Flores kind of countered with, well, if he's talented and not tough, that's kind of an oxymoron. Although there have been those guys that are talented and they're not tough. I've seen that myself, actually, in this league. But if you start talking about the traits of talented, smart, tough, physical, that's exactly what you asked for in the Patriots. That's exactly what you asked for when you want now a new Miami Dolphin, because that's what Flores is going to want. Now, he left it as a case-to-case basis, and I agree with him, but I think he didn't want to go all the way, where I believe him that it would be on a case-to-case basis, but I think that's only to a certain extent. I don't think he wants a guy that's talented and not tough. I don't think he wants a talented guy that's not physical. I certainly don't think he wants a guy that's talented but not smart. So I don't. He left it like a case-to-case basis, but I think there are certain criteria that you have to meet in order to play for this man. And by Cameron bringing up those traits that I think has been mentioned in the past, I think these are traits that have to have on all his players. I think if you lack toughness, you're going to have a problem with Flores. I think if you're not physical, I think you're going to have a problem with Flores. I think if you're not smart, you're certainly going to have a problem with Flores. And talented, well, that's, I think most coaches in the NFL. It's all about talent. You got to have talent. I mean, how in the hell are you going to make it? How are you going to survive? You know what I'm saying? By the way, the program is proudly brought to you by the place we'll be at tomorrow morning at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. And right now we got 2019 models, the ILX. It's $189, folks. TLX, 2020 models now. $209, RDX $309, MDX $339, only $29.99 do it signing, plus tax tag and registration, folks. And you can also check out the fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles. But what you're going to love, I've been telling you for years about this, is the sales staff. They are absolutely amazing. They're very informative. They're courteous. They will listen to you, and they're out to make you happy. That's what they're not trying to make themselves happy with some commission checker. No, they're trying to make you happy, because then they know you're going to be back to lease another car, to buy another car. They're going to tell your friends, your family members, and that's why the reputation is second to none. That's why they're a top 5 dealership in the country. Get on down to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business, baby. It is Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Act now. Home values are ticking up. Don't put off making a move any longer. Call Michael Kodsey now at Choice Mortgage Bank, 561-441-2730, while mortgage interest rates are still at historical lows. Call now to get pre-approved and buy your dream home. If you're currently paying over $800 a month for rent, call 561-441-2730 now before interest rates go up. Down payments as low as 3.5%. Veterans may qualify for no money down. If you own a home, but you're upside down, Michael Kodsey can help. If you're being denied by your bank or your loan process is taking too long, call 561-441-2730. Act now while fixed rates are still under 3.5%. Offices in Boca and Boynton Beach. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. Equal housing lender. NMLS 122081.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right.
This is the Big O Show.
We're back. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line at 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the program. And the show proudly brought to you by a place where you can get a great rack. Don't you want a great rack? I love great racks. I mean, great racks look really, really hot. I'm telling you. And that's why you got to go to Pallet Rack City. Go see Eddie Pereira, your one-stop shop for all those warehouse needs, baby. They sell the pallet jacks, the hand trucks, the dock boards, and most packaging supplies. They also sell used forklifts and dock equipment and the largest used racking inventory in South Florida. They buy and sell new and used pallet racking. You want great racks? Go call Eddie Pereira. 305-887-9212. Save it on that cell phone. Your business is going to look so much better with some great racks. 305-887-9212 for Pallet Rack City. Love it. All right. So we take you till about 3 o'clock. We got a loaded show for you, man. Matt Shodell is going to join us at the top of the hour from Kane Sport. We'll get his thoughts on this. I still don't understand how the Canes are favored by 7. Telling you, take La Tech. I don't want to bet against them to root against them, but I'm just telling you, I think the Canes are going to lose this game. I really do. I don't have any hope whatsoever for the Canes. And I certainly don't think they're going to beat them by 8 points.
Have you looked at what the weather's like over there by chance?
I'm sure it's cold, but I don't think it's freezing or anything, but what?
Yeah, it's usually at this time of the year, it's cold and like damp, right?
Okay. I don't know what it is, but I could see
all
cold.
The swamps. And I remember being in New Orleans.
No, I know
it's got that damp, wet.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't know if it's a damp or wet day today. I don't know. You're trying to guess a weather that you don't even know what it is.
Well, we're talking about betting, man. You know, it's a good idea to know what the weather's like.
You know what? I would go with you on that if we were talking about a legitimate football team with a legitimate coaching staff. But we're not talking about
Did
that.
you just say that, bro? Wow.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. The University of Miami football team is not a legitimate football team, and that coaching staff is not legit either. And until they prove it, they're not legit. They're a joke. So they would lose on ice, in mud, in grass. I just think they're a bad football team, and they're poorly coached. That's all. I love the U, but they're irrelevant, and they're a joke. What do you want me to tell you? What can I say? Nico says, good afternoon, If the Canes lose badly after a 2-week layoff, how bad are they going to lose after 4 weeks of a layoff? Yeah, it's gonna be bad, dude. It's gonna be bad. I have no hope for them. So that's all I can tell you. I'd love to tell you that I'm inspired to look forward to this game, but I fear the hell out of this game. I fear that in the fourth quarter, I'm going to be all frustrated about it. And then to add to the frustrations, I'm going to say, why didn't you bet the game? So at least you can win some money off of this. You knew they were going to lose. You knew they couldn't cover. They need your money. They want your money so you can make more money, and you didn't do it.
To kind of compensate for the loss. You win some money, you feel good.
Yeah, exactly. I should bet against the Canes today just so I can at least make some money at the end. And say, yeah, they lost, but, hey, they lost and made me money. But I can't do it. I can't do it. But for those of you that are ruthless, for those of you that don't care, take La Tech plus 7, man. I'm telling you. It's the move to make right now. La Tech plus 7. You'll get it done. You'll feel good about it. Because I just, really. How about you? You bet against the Canes? You're going to do it? Would you do it?
If I had the money to bet and put it down, I would probably bet Louisiana Tech.
Plus 7, right?
Look, how many times have we had 2 weeks? Has it been 3 times we've had 2 weeks? And I don't know of any coaching staff that is ever done badly with 3 2-week preparation weeks for the team. And it's like, and it wasn't like we were playing juggernaut teams. That was what, Duke, Central Michigan, and what was the other one? Was it Florida State?
Yeah.
I mean, I look, to have extra time, to not be a benefit, I don't know, but yeah, you got to think it would totally be counterproductive.
I'm getting the updated lines now for the NBA tonight, so I can actually make my picks here in the NBA. I'm looking forward to it now. I need to have a big night tonight. It's time to have and bounce back big tonight. Strong.
Of all the sports betting, Vegas, them guys, the basketball lines and how they usually come within a point or two of every line with the number of offensive possessions per game and it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, whatever.
And it truly
that
shows.
That algorithm they have, whatever
they
it
are
is
just unbelievable, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. Rick Raspel says, based on roster talent, it should be more than 7 points. However, we are known to play down to our competition to make things worse. These players are not pumped for this bowl game. True. But Diaz is the ultimate disadvantage right now. What are you gonna do?
You know,
and I listen. Play down. It's not. La Tech is not bad, dude. They're going for their 10th win. You know. Come on. Give me a break.
And you're at their place. There's going to be adversity from the crowd and everything. But you know, you think about how Diaz started out the season and all rah-rah and tradition and everything like that. And then we actually got going into the season and whatnot. And at the end of the season, what I'm going to remember is all the rah-rah and we're getting back to tradition and everything and how badly it failed. At no point did this team look like Miami Hurricanes.
Oh, no, it's been a disaster.
And like you said, him being defense and the defense failing us at the end of the Virginia Tech game, letting them go down the field, the Duke game letting them go, North Carolina letting them come down the field and score. That is a bigger indictment than anything else. Him being the defensive coach and those 3 games, letting those teams go down the field, score and win on you, on your defense.
Nico says, taking your advice, betting La Tech. All right, but if you lose your house, Nico, don't blame me. If you lose your car, can't pay rent, whatever it is, don't be betting that kind of craziness, okay? So just telling you. But I do like La Tech in this game. I would. That's what I would bet. You know, I have plenty of action. We got the NBA lines now. Pistons are favored by 7 against the Wizards. The over and under is 229. Nets are favored by 7 over the Knicks. The over and under is 224. By the way, Frank Isola just had a great tweet. I gotta pull it up because it's too funny. I retweeted it because it was hilarious. He found out something about the Knicks that it's so Knicks, but it's kind of like what they want to do. It says, let me see, where is it here? Here it goes. This is an interesting story, an interesting theory from BOTP. The Knicks' dream plan is to find someone so miserable that they'd be open to forcing a trade. Wait for it, the Knicks. Brilliant. It says, in a dream scenario, the Knicks, according to the source, envision being in a good position to make a blockbuster trade for a star player who grew disgruntled with his current situation. There you go. Which is like what a lot of teams already do as it is. They look for the guy that's disgruntled and wants out. But if you're disgruntled and want out, why would you want to go to the Knicks? Unless you're just going to get paid. If you're like Dion Waiters. Hey, by the way, Dion Waiters is disgruntled. Why not trade him to the Knicks? I mean, come on. The Knicks should be able to believe that he'll be, he'll turn his life around and his career, and he's headed for greatness and all that good stuff.
Would you have to pay any of the contract for the Knicks to entice them to take him?
They don't do that in the NBA.
Oh, you can't. It isn't like baseball and what you can't.
No. You have to trade the salary.
When you get them, it's all on you.
You trade the salary. So he's untradeable, dude. That was just a joke for me to go off. There's no way that nobody wants to trade for that clown at this point. Not even the Knicks, which, I mean, if Dion Waiters ever really wanted an indictment on where his life is as a professional, not even the Knicks will trade for you. Okay? No one's trading for you, not even the Knicks. All right? That right there you should be able to look in the mirror of your Dion and go, wow, man, my life is really bad now. But the good thing is he is going to get paid about another $24 million, with this year and next year. So I guess life isn't that bad when you're Dion, because really you're not about being a professional. You don't really care about your career. You just care about the bottom line. You got your money. And it was so obvious that he wanted to get paid, and the Heat still fell for it. It really is amazing. I to this day, I still cannot believe some of these deals. Well, crazy. What can I tell you? Matt Shodell is going to join us at the top of the hour from Kane Sport. Matt, by the way, is very fortunate. He didn't have to go to Shreveport. So he's here in Miami,
He loses out on a chance to meet Bruce Lee, man.
Yeah, it's true, actually. You know what? That's actually, that in itself right there is worth it. Probably worth the trip to Shreveport just to go meet Bruce Lee at a Sonics. I mean, that would be phenomenal. For those of you that don't know the story, about whenever it was the Super Bowl in Dallas, 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever it was, I drove from Mobile to Dallas. And Brandon was my producer back then, Brandon Rodriguez. And Brandon was hungry. And he goes, hey, man, let's stop at the Sonics. So I said, all right, cool, let's go. Let's stop at Sonics, get something to eat on the way. We stop in Sonics, and we order our food. When we pull up to the window, there's a dude that's there to, take our money. It's an Asian guy. And his name tag says Bruce Lee. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I run into an Asian dude named Bruce Lee. Okay? I mean, if I'm in San Fran or Seattle, where there's a, large Asian population, you would figure, okay, it's still pretty amazing to run into a dude named Bruce Lee that's Asian. Okay, that's awesome. But in Shreveport? Come on, man. You're not supposed to run into an Asian dude or a Cuban dude in Shreveport. What the hell's wrong with it? It's a Cuban dude seeing an Asian dude in Shreveport. That's crazy. Now that
odds are slim and none.
Yeah, none went out the door too. None's gone, or Slim's gone. I'm sorry, Slim's gone out the door. It's none, and yet it happened once in Shreveport. A Cuban guy spotted an Asian guy named Bruce Lee. That, my friends, is pretty awesome right there. Alman 241 says, when Waiters hits 40, his career is long over. He will have regrets over his career. Maybe, maybe not, but he just seems like the knucklehead that doesn't care. He just probably cares. It's like Melo. Melo can have all the little regrets he has now, but in the end, dude, you wanted your money. You never were about winning. All right, we got 2 hours down already. It's amazing how quickly it's gone. Matt Shodell is going to join us at 1. Jake Rowe is going to join us at 2. He works for at 1:30. I'm sorry. He works for 247 Sports. He covers the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll talk Jake Fromm with him. At 2 o'clock, Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald for our Inter-Miami report. Is there a coach? Are there players headed here? What is the latest with Inter? We'll find out with Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald and our buddy David Dwork, the man that knows how to cook the perfect roast. And he, of course, covers the Panthers, who have gotten roasted lately. He will join us at 2:30 so we can talk a little Panthers there. Let's take a break right now. Let's get ready for a little Matt Shodell. But before we talk about Matt Shodell, let me tell you about Hialeah Park, because the National Horse Players Championship is coming to South Florida. The qualifier is coming to Hialeah Park, folks. And if you want to win a trip to Vegas and a seat in the NHC and a shot to win $5,000 over at Hialeah Park, they're giving away $10,000, $5,000 to first place, $2,500 to second place, $1,500 to third place, and $1,000 in fourth place. That's amazing, folks. And you got to get on down there. January 12th on Sunday is the National Horse Players Championship. Bill and I are going to be broadcasting live that Sunday out there. We're going to be talking to some of the folks out there participating in this. So get on down there. Find out at Hialeah Park. Go to HialeahPark.com or HialeahParkCasino.com so you can enter. We'll see you January 12th for the National Horse Players Championship qualifier coming to Hialeah Park.